take this ring
Take this ring.
as a sign of my love and fidelity.
It's a sign of my...
Merci, Madame Brulebois.
There's something undeniably magical about moments when seriousness completely collapses under the weight of pure, unexpected comedy. Even the calmest, most composed people can't escape it. Not even monks, who are supposed to be the embodiment of peace. The second someone like Speed walks into their tranquil dojo, all the meditation in the world can't stop the chaos that follows. It's like the universe itself hits a glitch in the matrix, reminding us that laughter will always find a way to break through, no matter how sacred or serious the setting. These moments are the reason we can't get enough of bloopers, live mishaps, and unscripted laughter. They're unfiltered glimpses of our most human instincts taking over. You can rehearse, prepare, and plan all you want, but when humor decides to strike, there's no defense against it. Think of Chris Pratt on the set of Parks and Recreation. The scene was meant to be a smooth, funny but wholesome conversation about comeback stories. Instead, Pratt casually dropped an improvised line about Kim Kardashian's comeback that left the entire cast stunned. The silence that followed before everyone burst into laughter was pure gold. You can see it in their faces, that beautiful mix of shock, disbelief, and uncontrollable amusement. It's that raw reaction that makes the moment timeless. It wasn't just a joke. It was comedy breaking free from the script, a reminder that the funniest things often happen by accident. The same goes for Brad Pitt on the set of Bullet Train, where an unscripted jab, "Suck a bag of lady," sent everyone, including Pitt himself, into a laughing fit so real they had to stop filming. Professionalism? Gone. Composure? History. What's left is the kind of laughter that makes your stomach hurt and your face ache, the kind that turns a normal day into a story people will still be talking about decades later. And then there are the moments when the audience becomes part of the joke. Imagine a room full of stoic monks, their chants echoing in the air, and suddenly someone bursts into laughter at the smallest, most insignificant thing. The harder they try to suppress it, the louder it gets. That contagious, bubbling laughter that spreads like wildfire. You can almost feel their internal conflict. This is sacred, be calm, don't laugh. Oh no, it's happening. Before long, the entire room is shaking with laughter, and whatever solemn ceremony they were holding has transformed into a joyful human moment of shared hilarity. It's a perfect reminder that even peace and discipline can't silence the instinct to laugh. The beauty of these slip-ups, whether they happen in a film set, a courtroom, or a temple, lies in their honesty. There are moments when people forget the cameras, the rules, or the expectations, and just exist. And in that existence, the truth of human nature shines through. We are wired to find humor, even when we least intend to. Think about it. Every great comic story we tell years later probably started with someone desperately trying not to laugh. From politicians losing their composure during speeches, to actors forgetting their lines and improvising something better, to judges giggling at ridiculous testimony like a man using his own instrument to measure a sandwich. These moments reveal something powerful. Laughter is universal, unstoppable, and deeply connecting. What's even more fascinating is how laughter thrives in contrast. The more serious the context, the funnier the breakdown becomes. A monk laughing during meditation hits harder than a comedian cracking a joke. A world leader being laughed at by the United Nations, like Trump trying to boast about his administration, turns global politics into a comedy show. It's not just about the words. It's the tension snapping, the facade of control collapsing, and the collective realization that everyone, no matter how important or stoic, is still just human. That's why when Trump smirked and said, "Didn't expect that reaction, but that's okay," the moment became iconic. Not for his speech, but for the laughter that stole it. Even in smaller moments, this pattern repeats. A couple trying to spice up date night ends up in hysterics instead of romance, proving that love often comes with laughter. A news anchor struggling to keep it together after realizing they might have mistaken a child on a scooter for a tiny adult becomes an instant classic. And James Blunt, ever the master of dry humor, deadpans that his original fans have all died. A morbidly hilarious confession only he could deliver with a straight face. These moments don't just entertain us, they connect us, reminding us that laughter is the great equalizer. In a world obsessed with perfection, perfect speeches, perfect performances, perfect images, these accidental bursts of chaos are a breath of fresh air. They remind us that imperfection is where authenticity lives. You can't fake a real laugh, the kind that bursts out of you uncontrollably. It's the most honest reaction we have. Whether it's a monk breaking his composure, an actor going off script, or a politician losing control of a crowd, those moments are pure truth wrapped in humor. And that truth is this: no matter how serious life tries to be, laughter always wins. Maybe that's why we love watching bloopers and awkward interviews so much, because in those cracks of professionalism and polish, we see something real. We see ourselves. We've all had those moments where we say the wrong thing, laugh at the wrong time, or find something funny that we absolutely shouldn't. It's human, it's humbling, and it's hilarious. So the next time you're caught giggling during a serious moment, whether it's in a meeting, a ceremony, or even a quiet room, don't feel bad. You're not losing control. You're just proving that even in life's most structured moments, laughter can still sneak in, uninvited but always welcome. Because at the end of the day, seriousness fades, but a good laugh, that stays forever. Take, for instance, the chaotic brilliance of live comedy and improv. On the set of Parks and Recreation, Chris Pratt delivered what might be one of the most perfectly accidental moments in television history. The scene was supposed to be lighthearted, a quick list of inspiring comeback stories. Then, without warning, Pratt dropped the now legendary improvised line about Kim Kardashian's comeback, and time itself seemed to stop. The cast froze, eyes wide with disbelief before collapsing into helpless laughter. It wasn't rehearsed. It wasn't planned. It was the raw, uncontrollable kind of humor that no scriptwriter could ever replicate. Comedy born entirely from human instinct. That one line, delivered in a split second of spontaneity, turned a simple scene into something iconic. The same kind of unexpected brilliance struck again on the set of Bullet Train. Brad Pitt, trying to deliver his lines with intensity and precision, found himself derailed by an improvised insult so absurdly phrased that even he couldn't hold it together. "Suck a bag of lady" wasn't in the script, but it became one of the funniest moments behind the scenes. Pitt himself breaking character, giggling uncontrollably, completely unable to recover. For all his Hollywood professionalism, there was no stopping the laughter. That's what makes these moments special. The way humor completely strips away the performance, revealing the human underneath. And of course, there's the irony of seeing people who are supposed to embody composure lose it entirely. Imagine a room full of serene monks mid-chant, their voices deep and rhythmic, until someone lets out the tiniest chuckle. Suddenly, the entire balance of peace collapses. One monk tries to suppress his laughter, which only makes it worse until the whole group is trembling with silent giggles. The harder they fight it, the funnier it gets. It's the oldest, purest form of human humor. The laughter you shouldn't have, the kind that bubbles up against your will. It's beautiful in its chaos, a reminder that laughter doesn't just entertain, it heals, it humbles, it unites. What makes these breakdowns so powerful is their honesty. When laughter interrupts seriousness, it's not an accident. It's authenticity crashing through the illusion of control. In those moments, people forget they're being watched, filmed, or judged. They just are. Think about the courtroom scene where a man suing a sandwich shop for false advertising admits he used a personal instrument to measure the sub. The judge, supposed to embody order and dignity, tries desperately to remain composed, but when the witness says he pulled it out, you can feel the entire courtroom crumble into chaos. That helpless laughter, the kind that sneaks up on everyone and takes over the room, is pure human connection. Laughter thrives in contrast, and that's why it hits hardest in serious settings. A monk giggling during meditation feels funnier than a stand-up routine. A president being laughed at by world leaders feels more surreal than any late-night sketch. When Donald Trump declared to the United Nations that his administration had accomplished more than almost any in history, he expected applause. Instead, he got a wave of laughter from diplomats around the globe. To his credit, he smiled and said, "Didn't expect that reaction, but that's okay." For a brief moment, the power dynamics of the room disappeared. The President of the United States became just another person caught in an awkwardly funny moment. But laughter doesn't need grand stages to be unforgettable. Sometimes it sneaks into the smallest moments. A couple trying to film a cute date night video that turns into a laugh attack. A newscaster confusing a child on a scooter with a very small man. Or James Blunt delivering his signature dry humor by saying all his original fans have died, leaving only their kids as his new audience. These aren't punchlines crafted by writers, they're flashes of real humanity. They're the moments that remind us life isn't meant to be perfect. It's meant to be felt. In a culture obsessed with image and control, polished performances, perfect speeches, flawless takes, these unscripted bursts of laughter are revolutionary. They remind us that imperfection is where authenticity lives. You can't fake a real laugh. It's spontaneous, involuntary, and absolutely contagious. When people laugh together, all barriers, social, political, or professional, dissolve. It's a language older than words shared by every human on Earth. Laughter doesn't care about status or seriousness. It just happens, beautifully and unapologetically. That's why we watch bloopers, late-night giggle fits and news anchors losing it on live TV over and over again. Because in those moments, we see something genuine. We see that no matter how disciplined, powerful, or important someone appears, they're still human. They still crack under the same pressure we all do. It's comforting, really. Proof that perfection isn't the goal. Connection is. So the next time you find yourself fighting back laughter during a serious moment, in a meeting, at a ceremony, or even during a heartfelt conversation, don't be ashamed. You're not being disrespectful. You're being human, because laughter in its purest form isn't rebellion, it's release. It's the universe reminding you not to take life too seriously. The solemn will fade, the formal will pass, but the memory of a shared, uncontrollable laugh, that will linger forever, and maybe that's the real secret. The funniest moments in life are never scripted. They're born in the cracks between intention and reality. They remind us that even in our most serious, structured moments, life has a sense of humor. Because at the end of the day, seriousness may demand silence, but laughter, unstoppable and honest, always finds its way through.